All right, great. So it's recording. I hope everybody is able to hear me. Can you give me a quick thumbs up so that the recording has clear audio? So you can give me yes in the chat box. Yes or no. How is my audio? Okay, great, great. Okay. So welcome to the day 2 of our workshop series. So today's tool that we're going to cover is Google Sites. Now, has anybody heard about Google Sites? You can type in chat box yes or no. Have you heard about Google Sites or what it does? Do you have any idea? Does anybody have any idea or has any experience with Google Sites? Anybody? Since this is a short training, I mean small group training, you can also unmute and let me know. Okay, Vivek sir says he has heard about it. Noor ma'am and Natasha ma'am says they haven't heard about it. Rashmi ma'am has raised hand, so probably she has heard about it. Yes, okay. But never explored it before. Yes, you have heard about it, but never explored it before. So, yes, this is a great opportunity for all of you to know about Google Sites. Now, Google Sites is an application provided by Google wherein you can create websites. Okay, as the name says, sites, it means you will be able to create a website. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I have explored about free tools where we can create websites, but it usually takes some costs. I will have to sign up to an application or a website, and all of these processes are there. But Google Sites is different. Since it's from Google, you can directly create it using your Gmail ID. If you remember yesterday's workshop, we have created all our Google Forms just using our Gmail ID. In the same way, Google with Google Sites, with your Gmail ID, you will be able to create a free website. And another interesting thing about Google Sites is it's not just working on computers or laptops. It works on mobiles and tablets as well. So if you just create one website, it will be compatible with desktops, laptops, tabs, and phones, any smartphone. So usually for other platforms, we will have to do some coding, or we will have to purchase compatible versions, or we will have to do some advanced settings so that it will be compatible for all of these devices. But with Google Sites, you will be able to create websites for all kinds of devices, and they'll be ready to be rolled out. So as soon as you finish creating your website, you can publish it. No extra costs, no hidden costs, no sign ups, no spamming. So usually when we use a free tool, when you use it, it's fine, but after a day or two, they start spamming you to buy premium versions, right? Has anybody faced this? You go for a free tool, but after using that free tool for some time, your email is loaded with those apps saying that buy our premium version, or upgrade, it's time to upgrade now, or they'll limit your usage saying that these tools are only for free users, and these tools, the nicer tools, are for premium users, right? It's not the case with Google tools. For all of the Google tools, you just need your Google mail ID, that is Gmail ID, which you all have, and you just have to use it. So that's these are a few advantages. Now there are some questions. So I want you to read these four questions on the right side, and I want you to think if you are also having these questions. So I want you to read these four questions and type yes or no. Do you have any of these questions in your mind? How do I build website? Okay, she's saying build a website. I'm a science teacher, I'm a math teacher, I don't know how to build a website. Next question in your mind would be, do I have to learn coding now? I don't have extra time. I can't invest time in building. Okay, website sounds like a great idea. I can showcase my work, my students' work, my institute. I can add a lot of elements, but I don't have time to code, or I don't have the money or the budget to hire a coder or a developer to build my website. How can I use it with my students? This might be the third question. So I am an interactive teacher. I have a close group of students where we do projects, where we do some tinkering, or where we have project based learning or activity based learning. So how do I use this Google sites, or how do I use this information with my students? And the fourth question might be, okay, I'm spending this 1 hour or 40 minutes with Reshma. She's talking about this Google site. What are the benefits of this app after all? So does anybody have any of these four questions in your mind? You can type yes or no. Yes, it makes me annoyed. Yes, those spams, right? Those emails saying that upgrade, buy the premium version, all of those really annoy us. We'll have to do a lot of things to delete it. So yes, most of you have questions. Anju ma'am says yes. Parvati ma'am says yes, yes. Okay, so no worries. I will answer all of these questions as I progress through the workshop. So first, how to build a website. That's the core part of our workshop. I'll be showing you how to build a brand new website. So from a blank website to a fully furnished website. How to do that? We're going to see that. Do I need to learn coding? No, absolutely zero code. I can promise you that you need not learn a single line or a single syntax of coding for Google Sites. All you have to do is drag, drop. Okay, you just select your element, you drag it, and you drop it. Only these three keywords are enough for your for building your whole website. Next, how can I use it with my students? Now, I think most of you also follow this. I follow in my lessons. Before I start a lesson, I usually tell my students the applications of a lesson. I'm a math teacher, so if I'm telling about geometry, I tell them that you can look around you. There are a lot of 3D and 2D shapes. That's how you explore shapes. It's used in constructions, architecture, and all of that. Now, how can you, in the same way, I'd also apply to that to my tool training as well. Before learning or investing time and money, obviously not money in this case because it's a free tool and a free workshop, but yes, you're still investing time, which is very precious. So how will you use it with your students and what are the benefits? I'd like to share that first before you start learning about this tool. So number one is that you can use, so most of your schools or most of your institutes must be having events or competitions, right? Can you type yes or no in the chat box? I'll be asking questions, so please don't get bugged. To keep the to keep the session interactive, I'll be asking questions, and also to check if you're attentive or not, I'll be asking questions. So do you conduct events or competitions or any sort of activities with your students? Yes, okay. So when you have photos, when you have documents or posters, we usually share it over WhatsApp or through a platform where you'll have to, if there are 30 event photos, you will have to upload all the 30 photos on that platform or on that WhatsApp. So some of them might want to get it saved in their phone, some of them might not want to have it in their on their phone. Their gallery gets full. So first, the most interesting thing is you can create event portfolios. That is, if there are any events in your school or if there are any workshops or activities or competitions happening, you can create a web page for that event or workshop or whatever it is, and instead of sharing those hundreds or thirties or tens of files, you can just share the website link with them, and the parents, the stakeholders, whoever it is, their school leaders, parents, students, they all can see from the website itself. So it's one core point or one primary point of communication. The next thing that you can do, the next application I'd say, is a digital library. Now this is a very I can say something that can be leveraged, very potential use case for Google Sites. So if you are a Hindi teacher, or let's say you are a math teacher or science or any subject for that matter, and you have lot of resources with you, what you can do is you can create a digital library. Instead of having to create a folder or mailing these to hundreds of students, you can just create a digital library and share the information with your students, parents, school leaders, department, wherever you want. The next thing that you can do is, we're all professionals, we are looking for a job or we are working or we'd like to start something on our own. So a portfolio is really important. A portfolio basically is your information, your work piece, or your work related documents, your certifications, achievements, all of these things. Instead of a 1 or 2 page CV, you can actually create a portfolio and give it to your recruiter or to showcase to your customers or students or parents, wherever you are. If you're an institution or a tuition teacher, you can share it with your parents and showcase what are your achievements of the institute or yourself. If you are a working professional, you can create a portfolio of yourself. You can talk about your projects, you can keep a video of yourself with a demo lesson or whatever it is, and you can showcase. So instead of a traditional 1 or 2 page, you know CV, which is boring or which is very common, you can actually create a portfolio. Another In that case, anybody with the link can access it. Yes, it's like a published website, so you must be knowing www.facebook.com or www. Usually small businesses also have this .com or .in websites, right? So yes, that's how they can see it like a normal website. They'll not be able to edit it, they'll not be able to change anything. You are, instead of sharing documents and files separately, you're sharing it like a website with multiple web pages in it. WhatsApp group link, I'll be sharing it towards the end of the workshop. Okay. So yes, these are some use cases, and as I go through, I'll also be showing some more use cases and applications small, but these are major use cases. The next thing is benefits. Number one, you can add multimedia here. So if you're on a WhatsApp group, definitely if you want to share a lot of things, lot of the gallery gets spammed, the people might not want to save all of that on their devices. So instead of that, you can have a web page where you can share information like a blog also. Another benefit is not just sharing multimedia, but you can actually or just for yourself, but you can also add collaborators like I, Noor ma'am, Maria ma'am, Rashmi ma'am. We four can collaborate. I'm just giving examples. So four of you or five of you or more can collaborate and make a single site. So usually websites might sound overwhelming. So if you are creating a big website, you might want some help. So you can add collaborators. All of you can work on a website anywhere on the world. I mean, anywhere in the world at any time. So I can join in, then I can finish my work. Then Noor ma'am can join in, she can finish her work. Then Rehana ma'am can join in, she can finish her work. So we are at the end of the day, everybody is working on the same piece and it will be complete. So group projects can also be done. The same thing can be applied for students. So let's say you're talking with or you're dealing with higher grade students, so 7, 8, 9, 10. They must, for them this is an easy application. So I've also practically explained Google Sites and shown Google Sites with for grade 9 and 10 students, and they have really liked it and they were able to use it. So you can give group projects, you can give them research projects saying, do some research on global warming, make a website. So they all can group up together and make a website. So these are a few benefits. Now I have talked a lot in theory. So ha- does everybody understand the agenda of today's workshop? Hopefully. Any doubts, you can type it in the chat box, because in a minute or two I'm going to get into the workshop, the actual part of the workshop, where I'll be showing the tool, I'll be showing all the features and functionality, and then creating a sample website in front of you. So any doubts, you can type it in the chat box. If not, I'll stop this presentation and I'll share the entire screen so that you can see all the steps. So let me share the entire screen. Okay. How is Google site different from blog in blogspot.com or WordPress? Um, yes. In Google Sites, you can add extra elements like Google Maps, and you can add extra elements like calendar. You can actually integrate your calendar with Google Sites, whereas the users can actually see your Google Calendar, that is your calendar. If you are famous or you're a busy person, you can share your Google Calendar and events. Or if you're an institute and you're conducting some workshops or conducting some events, you can also share that. Another thing is Google Maps. If you are an institute and you'd like to or you are having an event or whatever it is, you want to share a Google Map, you can directly do so. Another thing is Google Drive will act as a database here. So whatever is there in your Google Drive, you can share it, not just text and videos like these two do. You can also share Google Slides, Google Sheets, charts, and Google Docs. All of these things can be shared directly on Google Sites without much coding or without much hustle or hassle. So that's the difference, Vivek. So, and as we see the tool, you might be, if you are a user of Blogspot and WordPress, you'll definitely find some differences. So first step, as we did it yesterday as well, we will be doing it step by step. So first, we will be seeing how to access Google Sites, that is how to open Google Sites and see. The next thing is we will see what are the different templates that are already given by Google. Next, we'll see how to create a blank website, that is from a blank website, how to add elements in it and make a website. And fourth thing is how to share it. Once you have created a whole website, how will you share it with your participants? So these are the four elements. The application parts has already been discussed with you just now. So we'll have these four parts. Okay. Step one, how to access Google Sites. So I told you, with just your Gmail ID, you can access Google Sites. So here I have opened a blank Chrome page. So this is my Chrome page, Google Chrome page. So here I can type sites.google.com. As I told you yesterday, or for those who have joined today only, the shortcut for accessing any of the Google product is productname.google.com. So prod.name.google.com. So this is a tip that you can use anytime. If you want to open forms, you will type forms.google.com. If you want to open sites, you will type sites.google.com. If you want to open Google Jamboard, it would be jamboard.google.com. So whenever you want to know what is the URL for that particular application, this application name or product name.google.com. So it is sites.google.com. That's all. Okay. You will come up to the home page of Google Sites. Now, I haven't logged in. You can see how simple it is. I didn't sign up. You also will not need to sign up. You don't have to log in, nothing. Since it's integrated with your Google Mail, that is, it is linked to your Google Mail, directly it will take you to the home page. Also, you will not receive any mails, any spams from Google saying that buy this product, buy that product related to Google Sites. Okay. So, this is how you open. Another way is through waffle icon. So, does anybody remember what is the waffle icon? Those who joined yesterday, can anybody tell me? Look at this and tell me where is the waffle icon? You can unmute and tell me. Let's see if anybody remembers yesterday's class. Anybody? 9 dots. Great, Anju ma'am. So these 9 dots that you see, so it looks like a waffle. It's interesting. They call it waffle because it looks like a waffle. So you have to click on these 9 dots. And when you scroll down, you'll find something called as sites. That is Google Sites. All the applications that are there for your Gmail ID, they'll be here. So slides, drive, docs, sheets, forms. So just scroll down a bit, sites. And if you don't find sites, don't worry. You can also go with sites.google.com. That's all. So two ways of accessing Google Sites. Is everybody clear with step one? Let's see. You can type yes or no in the chat box, or you can raise your hand. Yes. Yes. Okay. So this is how you open Google Sites. Now this is our home page. Okay. This is the logo, Google Sites. Whenever you click on it, it will take you to the home page. Okay. Search. Search will help you to search your files. So if I want to find any file or a file, find a site with any particular name. So if I want to search event website that I created, so it will show me all the files that I have related to event. So in sites, I have event website. I have one Google slide. So this search box acts like a search to all your files with that particular name. So if I want to find files which have the name sample in it, it will find all the files that have the name sample in it. It's not just Google Sites, but Google Slides, Google Docs, whatever it is, I will find all of those. So basically, it will find files. This is the file search box. The next column, or sorry, the next row is start a new site, that is blank website or templates. Okay. So if you click on blank, you will open up a blank website. Nothing will be there inside. No pages, no photos, nothing will be there. Everything will be blank. We'll have to create it. Okay. We'll learn this part surely. Now let's just see what template has. What all templates are there in the in template gallery. So related to work, you can create an event website, help center, project website, team website. I will open one of the website and we can see small business. So if you're a small business, you can create that as well. Or if you are a personal user, if you are a personal, I mean, if you are using it for a personal portfolio, you can also click on this. And there are some education related websites as well. So you can see you can create a class website. Another great use case. So if you have class activities every week, instead of sharing it every time, you can create a website. All the photos from the beginning of the year till the end of the academic year, everything can be shared here. Not just photos, the work of the students, like documents and all of those. So these are some templates. Now let's see how to use a template. Let's open a class website. I will just have to click on any template that I want. It will load. Since it's a heavy application, it's going to load for 10 or 5 or 10 seconds. Now you can see this is my website. They have given some sample text. Now templates are basically blueprints. They give some sample text, they'll give you some sample images, they'll give you some sample headings. You can change all of those and create your own piece. So if you're a busy teacher or you're a busy person, you don't have time to create from scratch. From blank website, you don't have time to create each and every element. Instead, you can go with the template. So class name, instead of writing class name, this is the sample heading that they've given. I will write as teach and reach. I will instead write teach and reach. Okay, if I like the photo, I'll keep it. If not, I can change my background as well. That is banner as well. I can select an image from the gallery or from your computer as well. You can select. You can just click on select. It will replace. So instantly, without me having to worry about styles, about color combinations, about fonts, all of this work, it's already doing for me. All I have to do is change the text. Now it's also giving me some placeholders. Can you see? It's showing me I can add an image. So it has created boxes. I just have to fill it in. I'll click on upload. I'll go to desktop and let's see. So if I have some sample images, I'm going to add it. So you can see I didn't have to actually create a box, keep it or align it. Now it's already aligned with my paragraph. So all I have to do is upload, fill content. So you can think of it as a blueprint. You just have to fill in content. All the styling, coloring, fonts, everything is done. You just have to fill in. So that's the purpose of templates. You will be able to use templates only when you know what each feature does. Right? How many of you agree? I asked the same question yesterday as well. You will be able to use templates of a particular application only when you know the capabilities and features of the application. How many of you agree? I'd like you to raise your hand if you agree. Yes, you can add directly from Google search, or if you want to add from your what do we say, from your gallery, you can also do so. So let's see here. I'll click here, click on upload. So you can also do a Google search, but you will have to click like this, images, upload. Okay, I think you can't do a direct Google search here like Google Slides and Google Forms. You will have to upload. Earlier I was able to, yes. You will have to upload. You will have to keep them in your laptop or desktop or phone, whatever it is, you will have to upload. Okay, great. So now let's get back to, so we have seen how to use templates. You will understand this better once you know what does each button here do, what is this pages, what is this themes, what are these buttons on the top. Only when you know all of this, you will be able to use templates well. So let's see how to start a blank website. So I'm closing this. So to open a blank website, you will have to click this. Before that, let's see what's here on the home page. So these are recent sites. Whatever sites you have opened, whatever sites you have worked upon, all of those sites will come up here. So this is basically your folder of files or folder of sites that you have been using. So these are all the sites that I have been using. Okay. So now let's see how to start from scratch. To create a blank website, you have to just click on this plus icon, this colorful plus icon, and it'll take 5 seconds probably based upon your internet speed and your system load. It'll take 5 or 10 seconds. And okay, it's also giving you a hint. Unsure where to begin, try a template. But we've seen what is templates. We want to build a site from scratch according to our needs. Okay. So here, this is the file name. So you can give the date if you want, 27th October sites. Now the file name will automatically be written here. You can remove it and give your name, your site name. So let's say I want to build a class website. Since we are all teachers here or related to education space somehow or the other, let's say I want to create class of 2021. Okay. And here I'll do the same. So let's say my class has a particular name. So let's say Eagles is the group of class. Eagles 2021. So this is my class name and this is the website name, class of 2021. And whenever they open the home page, this is what they're going to see. So since I this is a blank website, there will not be styling there. You can't see any sample images, nothing will be there. We will have to build from scratch. Now, as I told you, we'll not need any coding. So all you have to remember is select, drag, drop. Select, drag, drop. Okay. Okay. Now I have banner. They've given some dark blue banner. I want to change it. I'll just have to click on change image. You can either upload from your computer or select from the gallery that they have given. When you click on select, you have these. Okay. And here you can do Google search. Somebody asked if you can do Google search. So in gallery for the banner, you can do a Google search. So let's say I want, since the name of the group is Eagles, since the name of the group is Eagles, I'll search for Eagles. I'll choose a broad, that is a horizontal one, and I'll click on select. So you can see this is my banner. So it has automatically adjusted the brightness and contrast so that mine looks, the heading looks good. So if I want to change or style the text, again, you just have to double click on it. You will find the type of the text, different fonts, and yes, you'll have different fonts that you can choose from, size, coloring, everything can be done. Okay. Without any coding, without doing much of it, I have added a banner. I have added the heading of my web page. Okay, somebody has any doubts? Does anybody have any doubts? I heard a ping. Okay, no doubts. All right. So I have changed the banner. Now, again, step by step learning. Okay. We will first see the elements that are there in a web page. What all elements can be added in a web page, we will see that. Next, we will see how to add multiple web pages. Usually, when you see a website, you will see about us, contact, and you will see gallery, you will see our projects or whatever it is, you will see 4 or 5 web pages. Here also, you have an opportunity to create multiple web pages. We'll see that. And then finally, we'll play with themes. This is secondary because this is just styling. You will be able to do it on your own as well. You might need help in insert page and pages. Okay. So let's do that step by step. So I have changed my banner. Now, text box. If I want to add any text here, you can see this blank space, right? I can add text here. So as I told you, select, drag, drop. I have selected text. I can drag here, here, wherever I want. I can drag it and drop it. So let's say I want this much of my paragraph. I can drag it on the right side or left side or center, wherever I want. Eagles 2021 is an enthusiastic bunch of grade 5 kids. And I can go on. I can keep writing for a lot of paragraphs here. Okay, this is how you add text. You can increase the text box length and you can decrease it just by dragging and dropping. Okay, this is how you add text. Next is adding images. So the main purpose of website is to make it engaging. The reader or the user of the website should be engaged. So the main thing is to add multimedia. So we'll add images. You can click on upload. You can upload from your computer. So let's say I'm talking about my students. So I'll just add, okay, young children probably. Yes, let's say this. I'll click on open. So it has added in this next row. I can drag and drop it. I can enlarge it, make it small. I can again adjust my text accordingly. However I want, I can do it. Okay. So this is how you add an image. Next is embedding. Now embedding is if you want to embed or add web pages from different websites, you can do so. We'll come back to this end because this is slightly advanced. We'll first finish the basic things and then come back to this. So we've seen how to add text and images. Is everybody clear with this? Any doubts? Did everyone understand how to add images and text in your website? Okay. So let's next move on to Drive. I told you that Drive will act as a database for you. That is, whatever is there in your Drive, you can upload it in your website. So in my Drive, usually I add photos, my lesson plans, my documents. All of these things are stored in Drive. So you too must be using Google Drive. If not, you can use Google Drive to upload different types of files, and you get up to 15 GB of space in Google Drive. So you can add whatever you want in your Google Drive, and those same files can be instantly displayed on your website as well. So let me give you an example. I'll click on Google Drive. Now it will open my Google Drive here. Okay. So I have some images here. I have some files here. So let's say I want to add a presentation. Okay. I'll just click on this ABC's alphabets presentation. I'll just click on insert. This slideshow, this is a slideshow. This is a presentation. This presentation will automatically come up here. So as easy it is. I mean, it's very easy. So not just presentations, you can also add different stuff like videos, pictures. So let's say PDF. Okay, let's see if there's any PDF. Okay, so if I have any PDF, so we are teachers, we must be having a lot of learning material, and if we are creating a digital library, we'd like to share it with our students. Instead of mailing that same file to 100 students or mailing that same file to so many parents, you can instead keep it here, add all the files that you have as a library and share it with your parents. That is with the parents of your school. Now it has come up in two different rows. I can drag and place it here. So you can see, yes, it has come up side by side. So this is how you can add files. Now we have added a few things. I would like to see how it is looking. Okay. Yesterday also, before publishing our form, we were previewing it. Remember, in the same way, you can preview your website. You can see how it's going to look like. Before actually sharing it with your parents, you can do a cross check with parents or with your school leaders or with your students, whoever it is. You can preview it. You can just click on preview. Now this preview is really interesting. Not just on desktop, you can also preview how it's going to look on phone. How is it going to look on tablet? So first option, I want you all to look at bottom right. First option is laptop or desktop. This is how it's going to look like. Your web page is going to look like this. And the document that you added, the practice book, students or whoever it is, students, parents, or school leaders, whoever it is, they can scroll and read it from the website itself. They need not download it. They need not, do all of that. They can just scroll. Okay. The next is presentation. If you remember, I added a presentation also. In the same way, presentation can be run from here itself. If you can see here, I have a small slide bar. I can go next, next, next. I can do previous, previous. So students this is actually a digital library. They can come in, they can read and study or go through the presentations from here itself without them having to open multiple files, having to download multiple files, and then they forgetting where that file was, and then they again messaging you, ma'am, where is that file? Please send it again. Nothing of that sort. So you can create a digital library like this. Okay. So yes, this is how you preview. Okay, you can click on escape, or you can just click on this close button and it will come back to the editor mode. So this is the preview button on the top. That's about these four. Okay, embed will come back to the last to the end. So we have seen how to add text box, how to add images, how to add different files from Google Drive, like slides, presentation. I mean presentation slides, PDFs. You can also add Google Sheets, whatever you want. You can add it. Videos. Next is layouts. Now you can see I was actually struggling. So here I have image, but this text is a little bit here and there. I'm dragging it, but this space is empty. So if you're not very good at uh, using space, or you're not very good at designing these websites, we have help here as well. Okay, let me delete everything. So here first thing I did was I added the banner. Now I'm not sure. Just hover on it. Yes. If I'm not sure how to use how to use the space in this white page, I can use layouts. What it will do is it will actually arrange the elements properly to me. It will do it for me, and I can use it instead. So in the next, I want some images. I'll add images here. In the next, I want some images with captions. So here you can see the space is neatly arranged. All I have to do is add my content here. This can be also used when you have multiple teachers. So let's say me, Rashmi ma'am, and me, or you know, who else is there? Noor ma'am want to collaborate and create a website. I can just one person can do all the layouts. The second person can add all the images. The third person can all add all the text. So this way work can also be divided, also with students as well. One person can do layouts, the other person can do research and select the pictures for that particular topic, and at the end they all will collaborate and enter the content. So that's how you can do group work using layouts. Also you can use your space neatly. So now what I can do is I can upload this picture. So this is going to neatly fit in, and here I can add my text. So you can see the styling is also being taken care of. Since my theme is dark blue, the text has come up in dark blue. So my work has even become easier because I don't even have to select the font color now. It's exactly matching to my theme. So this is an enthusiast. Now my work is pretty easy because I don't have to worry about how to manage the space, how to, what do we say, align all my components. Like this, you can type whatever you want. Okay? Here, if I want to add some gallery pictures, or if I want to add some documents or YouTube videos as well. So let's look at how to add YouTube videos. So if I have some YouTube videos on my channel, or if I'd like to share some YouTube videos with my students related to a topic, I can do it directly on my Google site. So they don't have to go to YouTube and search for those links that I have given. I can directly upload them here. So that it's again like a digital library where not just text and documents, they'll also have video lessons. So let's say I'll upload one science lesson, English lesson, and maths lesson. English, or let's say story for grade 5. So I have so many short stories. So let's say I'll pick this. So the video thumbnail will be here. Students will just have to click on it and view it. Let's say one math lesson. So this is how you add a YouTube video. Okay. Math grade 5. I'm just giving random videos here, but you will have to obviously pick a proper video and add it here. And okay, I think everybody has understood how to add a YouTube video. Now let's see how to upload a video from your drive. Okay, if you have any videos on your drive, you can do so. From drive, I have some meeting recordings. So let's say you have class recordings, you can just select it, you can insert. So not just YouTube views, if you have your class recordings or if you have your lessons recorded, you can upload it here. So here are my video lessons. Now let's say they have learned this. I want them to now assess themselves, or I want them to now probably learn through some files. I can also upload PDFs. As you've seen, I can upload from my computer some PDFs that I want, or I can directly upload from my Google Drive. So from Drive. Now here what we are doing is we are slowly seeing how to upload different kinds of material, not just video and images. We are now seeing how to add PDFs. We're now seeing how to add different stuff here. Okay. So I'm not sure if I have PDF. Okay, we'll say take the same PDF, insert. If I have a Jamboard, I can also upload that from my drive. So different things. Okay. Now, next thing we'll see is how to upload a map. Now, let's say you're an institute, school, or a teacher who's taking home tuitions, or you're conducting an event and there's a venue. You can actually give the map there so that whoever is coming to your event, they can just click on that map, drive, and come. So, I can give a location as well. This is how Google Maps can be helpful. Just enter a location. So, let's say Bangalore. It's going to give me the map exactly. You can check the location looking at the map. So let's say I want it at BTM Lake. Okay, let's say I'm having an event in BTM Lake, which is in Bangalore. I'll click on select. Now what will happen is that map will fit in here. Okay, whoever wants to drive to my event, or whoever wants to know where my tuition takes place or where my event is going to happen, they can just click on it, they can come, they can check, and they can come to my event. So as simple as that. I didn't have to open Google Maps and copy paste the link and do all of that. I just selected the place and it came up. So as simple as that. So is everybody clear how to add collaborators? Yes, I will be showing that as well. We'll first see how to add elements and then we'll go to the next part. Okay, is everybody clear with how to add different types of elements? Images, text, videos, PDFs, maps. In the same way, you can also add Google Calendar. Same thing, you just have to add plus. You'll get options. You can click on calendar. It will show your Google Calendar. Okay, so let's say I have different events going on or different calendars. I can choose it and that particular calendar will come up here. Okay, again, you will have to know how to use Google Calendars for this, but anyways, it's just simple. Plus calendar, choose any particular calendar that you want. So let me choose this and the calendar will come up here. Okay, so it will come up here and whoever is viewing the website, they'll know if events are happening. So next thing. So we have seen layouts as well. Layouts will just arrange your space neatly. The next thing we'll be seeing is collapsible group. Collapsible group is nothing but it is going to collapse a piece of text. When I click on this, so let's say I'm writing a book review. And here book reviews are usually lengthy. So let's say I'm writing so many lines. Okay. And I don't want the user to keep scrolling down. You can instead have as a collapsible text. So if somebody wants to read my book review, then they can go ahead and click on this arrow, then they'll see it. Otherwise, they'll have just the headings. So that's about collapsible group. The next thing is table of contents. So table of contents is automatically generated here. If you have been using Microsoft Word or Google Docs or softwares of that sort, you know that table of contents can be automatically generated. So when you click on table of contents, whatever text pieces I have added with headings in it, so this has a heading and the next text piece which has the heading is book review, right? Those will come up here and instead of that user has scrolling it down to go to book review, they can just click on this book review of Ruben and they'll come to this part. Okay, that's about table of contents. Next is image carousel. Okay, next component or the next thing is in the insert part is image carousel. You just have to click on image carousel. Here you will have to select more than two images. Click on upload. Let me show you how it looks like. So let's say I want to show all these 5 images like a slideshow. I can click on this. All this will come up as a slideshow. Okay. So you can see there are dots. The users will be able to go next, next, next. All the images. You can all add 100 or so many as well. I mean, I think 20, up to 20 or so. Not sure the maximum count, but you can add many pictures here, and it will come up as a slideshow. They can do next, previous, next, previous. Okay, the next thing is button. So we all know what buttons do. When we click on a button, it will take us to a page or it will do some action. The same thing can be done. If you want to add buttons in your web page, you can do so. So let's say join the meeting. I can give our meeting link here, and whoever clicks on this button, they'll be joining the meeting link. So when somebody clicks on this button, they'll be able to join this current meeting because I have given the link. In the same way, you can change the link as well. If you want them to open facebook.com, you can give facebook.com. Or if you want to give any particular file that you have or any particular web page you have, you can give any link basically. They'll just click on it and they'll go there. Okay? That's about buttons. And placeholder is nothing but this box. If you want an extra box, you can keep a placeholder. So here you can just click on plus and you can add stuff. Next thing is cloud search. Cloud search is not present for normal users. That is, you all are using normal account, right? I have an organization account, so you will not be having this feature. But this basically what it does is it creates a search box, and people who are opening the website will be able to search the Google Drive of organization of that particular company. So you will not have this, so you need not worry about it. And the next all elements you have seen how to add a YouTube, how to add a calendar, map, docs. Docs is nothing but Google Docs. Okay. If you click on it, it will again open your Google Docs that you have created and you can directly put it here. Let's say this. I'll click on insert. This directly, this doc is going to come up in my website. So you can see I can design all of this. I can add different types of elements, different types of components like, videos, buttons, maps, calendars. All of these things can be added. Slides, sheets, forms, all of these things can be done. So this is about insert. Is everybody clear with the insert part? So we just have a few things left. The main part is insert. Only when you know what all things are there in insert, you can easily play with your website and create one. Great. Okay. Any doubts? Any doubts? You can type in or you can unmute and let me know. Any doubts? Okay. Okay. Now we have left one thing, which is embed. Okay. Now, if I click on embed, I can give any URL and that particular web page's preview will come up. So let's say I have an Instagram page, and I want my let's say my customers or my viewers to know that I have an Instagram page, and from here itself they should be able to see a preview of it. So I can do that. Okay, probably this must be a private account. So let's say LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn itself, because LinkedIn is anyways open. My LinkedIn is anyways open. So okay, if I have any post, I can give a preview of that post as well. Okay, copy link. I can paste. So you can see that the viewers need not actually come to my LinkedIn or have to ask me my LinkedIn handle. I'm just giving it here. I'll click on insert. Now what will happen is Reshma Sultana on LinkedIn. So this is my activity. When they click on it, they'll come to the LinkedIn page. So this is how you can add previews. Not just LinkedIn, you can also do YouTube. So if you have any YouTube video that you'd like to share, you can also do not just clicking on share, you can also do embed. Okay. So I'm not sure which video to take. Let's say I'll go to my channel. Okay, so here I have one video and I'd like to share this video. What I can do is I can go to this video. One way is uploading it. Another way is if you want the video to be embedded in your website, you can just click on share. You have something called as embed. Okay, you can copy this code and just click on copy and put it here. Embed code. Now again, this is a slightly advanced concept. For those of you who are not comfortable with it, again, it's very optional. It's not required at all. So that's why I kept it towards the end. Anyways, you know how to deal with YouTube videos, right? And other things. Only if you have any social media posts like Twitter, LinkedIn, and all. And if you would like to add those in your website, you just have to click on embed and give its URL. Just give the URL of your post. That's it. Okay, that's about insert part. Now let's move to how to add pages. Now this is my home page. Okay, if I click on this preview, all of this is going to come up in one single page. So you can see my table of contents. So if I want to go to the book review, if I just have to click on it, I just have to click on it and this will come up to the next. Since what is happening? Okay, in preview mode you can't click on links, but yes, you just the users will click on it and will go to the book review part. So you can see it's neatly arranged. Since I was using layouts, I can see no spaces wasted. And if I click on join meeting, it's going to open a Google Meet. So that's how you can add buttons as well. Okay, so we have seen how to create a page and how to add elements in it. Now again, to organize a website, now this isn't looking very good, I know, because lot of things are there in one single page. If I want to add multiple pages, you have to click on this pages section. If you can see on the right side, you have pages tab, and on bottom you have plus. Is everybody able to see this? If not, please unmute and let me know. Beside insert tab, okay, beside insert tab you have pages. Under this pages, you have a plus icon. When you click on plus, you will be able to create a new page. As simple as that. So let's say I want to create a new page about us. I will have to keep A capital, U capital. Done. Now what will happen is a new page will get created. You can see about us is a new page. Also on the top, you can see beside home, you have about us. This is home page and this is about us page. I can bold it as well, and here again I can use this insert tab. I can add whatever elements I want. Okay, if I want to create another page, let's say contact us, another page is created. So this is how you create new pages. Now you might be thinking, I can, what if I want to keep about us under contact us or contact us under about us? You must have seen it, right? In many websites, in one category you will have different web pages. So let's say under contact us I have contact admin, contact principal. I can just click on contact us, add sub page, contact admin. So you can see this contact us now has a small drop down. Under this, it has the contact admin page. So main page is contact us. Under it, it has sub page like contact admin. So that's how you can create sub pages as well. As simple as that. You'll just click on this pages tab, click on plus, and you can create a new page. If you already have a page and you want to create a sub page, you just have to choose the page, choose any page, click on add sub page. So you can see that's how you create sub pages. Is everybody clear with how to add pages? Very simple. Sure, Rashmi ma'am. I will show how to add a calendar as well. So anybody has any doubts in how to add pages and sub pages, additional pages and sub pages? Any doubts? I know it's very simple, but still you can ask me. I can repeat it. No worries. All right. Okay. So that's about adding pages. And once you add pages, you can just again go to insert and add whatever you want. Okay, pictures, documents, other things. So we have completed insert part, pages part. Next is themes. Now themes is nothing but playing with fonts, colors and combinations. Right now I have a simple font, sorry, simple theme. If I want, I can take Aristotle. Again, the styling will change. All it will do is it will change the font style, color combinations, and the look of the banner. That's all. Okay, if I choose diplomat, you can see this box will come up. I can change the font styles as well. Now, right now it's classic. I can make it heavy. So they have kept these things. You just have to choose. There's nothing much. You just playing and doing some experimentation. If I want impression, I can do so. I can turn it yellow, whatever I want, I can do. So this is about themes. This is pretty simple. And if you want to choose your particular theme color, if you have, let's say you have, Women's Day celebration in your school or so, and you'd like to add a pink or purple color, you can choose that particular color as well. You'll have to click here, choose the color that you want. Okay, done. Like this. You can choose theme colors, fonts, and styles that are here, that are available here. If you want, you can also do custom themes. But again, this is a little bit, what do I say? A little detailed concept, or a concept which would you would be using once you are comfortable with all the other aspects. So here you can create your own banner image, your own theme color, own thing, own font style, all of that. But otherwise they have given multiple things, you can easily use it. So that's about insert, pages and themes. Is everybody clear with how to play with themes as well? Any doubts? Any doubts, you can unmute. Anyways, this is a small group training, so you can unmute and let me know. Okay. So we've seen the major component, that is insert, pages, and themes tabs. Now you have created everything. You want to share it with your. Okay, somebody's speaking, I guess. Yes. Hello. You are audible, but your voice is a little low. Sir. Hmm. Yes. Yes, we are coming to that part, sir. Yes, we can do that as well. So we have something called as published viewers. So yes, I was coming to that point. Now you have created a beautiful website. Okay, your website can either be a public website or can be restricted to a particular set of uh, people or for a particular group. So that is also possible. You can either share it with everyone on the internet or you can keep it restricted. So let's see how to do that. Now, before publishing, it's always a good idea to preview it. As I told you, you'll have to preview it. Then click on home, see if all the links are working or not. So we kept a link here. Like we'll have to see whether it's working or not. This is preview mode. Okay, anyways. Contact us, contacted me. So all the pages are there. You can close the preview. Now it is time to publish. Okay, publishing your website will make it available for others. Now whatever you are seeing, it is for the editor or the owner of the website. Now to share it with others, that is to publish it, to broadcast it or to share it with others or to publish with others, you have to click on this publish button. Okay, just click on this publish button. This is how your site is going to look like. You can give the web address class of 2021, or if you want to give the name as Eagles, you can also give whatever name you want. You can give Eagles. So this is your link. This is going to be your link. And all you have to do is publish. Now, sir had a doubt. Who can see my website? Okay. Here is the catch. Who can view my website? You can click on manage. you will have different options. When you click on manage, you will have different options. Share with particular groups, or you can click on change. So published site, I can, whenever I publish a website, only my company people can see it, or I can change it and keep it as restricted. When I make it restricted, I can give yes. So when I make it restricted and click on done, only the people whom I'm sharing it with, they will be able to see it. Only specific people will be able to see it. Again, when I click on manage, so if I add people here, whoever are the people, if I want to add, so let's say I'll give another email ID. So only this particular ID will be able to see it. So I will have to make them published viewer. So only this person will be able to see my website. Okay, let me do it again for you all, because it has 2 or 3 steps involved in it. First, I'll show you how to restrict it to a specific group. Next, I'll show you how to make it public. Public is easy. You just have to click on publish, next, next. That's it. But for restricted group, you'll have to click on publish, give whatever name you want. Here, who can view my site? Click on manage. Okay. Click on change. So published site, who should be able to see the published site? It can either be restricted, it can be from your company people only. So if you're in a school, ABC school or ABC institute or ABC college, or public. When I keep it as public, anybody on the internet can see it. If I keep it as restricted, only the people I'm going to add are going to see it. If I keep it as my Teach and Reach project by Reshma, that means only my employees will be able to see it, or my students will be able to see it. So these are the levels of restriction that you can put. Vivek sir, I hope I clarified your question, and maybe others must be having the same question. Thanks for your doubt, sir. Okay. So let's say I want to keep it public because I want you to check this website. I know it's not really nice, but still. So I'll click on done. My published website will be public. And this is going to be my website name, class of 2021. I'll click on publish. Now this is published. As soon as I publish, now how should I share the link? You have this link icon. Remember, the same button was there in Google Forms also. You just have to click on it, copy link, and paste it in the chat box. That's all. Your website is ready. Now you can see I haven't done any payment. I didn't log in. I didn't write any code. And I was explaining, I was repeating concepts and doing all of that. And probably within an hour, I was able to publish my website. And this website is available for mobiles, laptops, tabs, computers, anybody. So I'd like you all to once click on this sites, and it's going to open the website. You can click on home, you can click on about us. All of these things will be able to will be published or will be seen. Okay, that's about Google sites. So yes, I know it is pretty awesome. We have to thank Google for it, because everything is free, zero coding, and literally even a 10th class child, or even 7th or 8th grade child will also be able to do it. So you can actually take one class to all your grade 8 or grade 7 students or grade 9 or 10 students, show them how this works, and from next month, or once they are comfortable with it, you can start giving them group projects. They will be engaged in these kinds of projects because it's Gen Z or alpha generation, right? So they must be very interested in technology. So you can integrate technology in this way. So that's about uh, Google sites and how to create a blank website from scratch, and we also published it now. Now, some of you might be having questions like, okay, why isn't the link very fancy, like www.facebook.com or www.teachandreach.in? So your links are like this, but why is the link like this? Since we are using the free, yes, .in web link sites, you will have to purchase a domain. The development of site publishing is all easy, but domain like www.in or .com or .org, that's a separate part. If anybody of you owns a website here, you know that you have to buy a domain from GoDaddy or Google Domains or Wix.com or like that.
But you have
Okay.
created a free website. In that, how did you add in the link?
That's because I'm using my organization ID. Since I'm using my company account, I'm having teachandreach.in. I've already bought a domain, so that's why it's coming like that. For you, it will be sites.google.com/class of 2021. You will not have this .in. I have purchased. That's what, it's an extra step. So that's why you'll get that domain. But otherwise, this is easy to use. For since you're not doing a business here, you're not actually relying on this website for for your major part of business or major part of your work. This is just to showcase something or to share something. I think this is fine because it's free. It's zero code. It's probably available readily. They haven't given fancy domains, so your domain, or sorry, your link will start with sites.google.com/your site name. Okay, so yes, any other doubts? Now, as I told you, I'll be giving away certificate of attendance because you have invested time in my workshop and you've shown interest. I'll be giving certificate of participation, so please give in your email IDs here. Whoever is going to give the email IDs here, I'll be sharing the certificates to them. So kindly put in your email IDs in the chat box. In the meantime, I'm also going to take some questions. Any doubts or any questions, you can unmute. Also, I hope you learned something about Google Sites, or learned at least one new thing. So thanks for attending the workshop. I hope you liked it. Tomorrow is the final day of the workshop, and tomorrow it is Google Jamboard. So if you'd like to attend that as well, you can join in at the same time. Please enter your email IDs here. Portfolios. Yes, you said that. Sorry, I said that you can also create portfolios. So let me give an example here. Let me go back to the editor. I have some sample websites. So I'll show you the templates. Basically the same thing. Instead of picture of children, you will keep your picture, you will keep your work, videos of your your work, that sort. So yeah, I have this template. So this is my template that I have created. This was for the students who joined in. So about me, I can add multiple pages here. About me, certifications, awards, contact me, contact admin, contact teacher, videos, presentation. So like this, I've created multiple pages, and in my home page, I've given my name. I've added some pictures, my location, whatever it is, or my office details. Like this, I have created my student work, my book reviews. If anybody wants to inquire, so this is basically a template. Like this, you can create a portfolio as well. Here, you can give the tutorials that you have created. My calendar I have attached. So let's preview it. For those of you who want to get an idea of how to create a portfolio using Google Sites. Okay. So here I can give some examples and my team picture. Here I can give my office details, the work that I do, and any gallery, my phone number I can add, any work related to it, like this. In the same way, if I have any certification and awards, I can also add pictures of it like this, like in separate pages. About me. So it's this is to get an idea of how you can keep your portfolio. So these can be the pages, and in each page, according to your requirement or your work, you can keep. Since we are teachers, we can also have videos page where we can keep our video lessons. So if you are applying for a job in another country, instead of sending a small CV like 1 or 2 page CV, you can actually share this website with them. They can check out all your work, certifications, everything, and that might help you. Thank you, Natasha, ma'am. Hope I answered your question, Mr. Murtaza.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I hope everybody has entered your email IDs in the chat box, so that I can give away the certificates. And yesterday's certificates also will be shared soon. Okay. So thank you for signing in and investing time in this workshop. So that's all from my end. I'll be stopping the presentation and the
How
recording.
to add collaborators but still left like
Okay, okay. Yes, yes, yes. Thanks for reminding that. I was about to stop the recording actually. Thank you. Yes. To add collaborators, again, you have this. I hope you're all able to see the screen. Probably in 3, 2. Okay. Here you have this plus icon. You just have to click on share with others. Now, let's say I want this particular person to be the editor. Okay. That means they have to be able to edit the website along with me. I can just give their email ID and make them editors. If I want them to just be viewers, I can also make them viewers. So I can switch between it. So that's how you add collaborators. You have two types of collaborators: collaborators who can view the website and give a feedback to you, or view the website once you publish it, or another thing is they should be able to edit along with you. So I can make them as editor, edit it, and I can send it. Now that person will get an email saying that Reshma has shared this with you, or has invited to collaborate with has invited you to collaborate on this particular website, and they will be able to open and edit it. Please note that the viewers will not be able to edit it. Only editors who you have added specifically, they will be able to edit it, and once their work is done you can also remove them. So let's say I have hired a person, a content manager, or a copywriter, or whoever it is, and they have done their work. I want to remove their access. I can also do so. I can click on this and click on remove, save. So if you have hired a freelancer, you can add them, let them design everything, and remove them as well.
is
That's how
there
you
any possibility to see analytics of the website?
you will have to log into something called as Google Analytics. So you have analytics part in the settings icon. Again, I don't an advanced one. You will have to create a Google Analytics account. Again, this might have costs, additional costs. So since this is free and basically this is for sharing information, you can, if you are already using Google Analytics account, then you can link it. If you already have a Google Analytics account, you can link it. But otherwise, you will have to create an account. If needed, you will have to make some payment and then use it. And you can click on enable analytics.
Okay, thank
So
you.
settings also is basic things like do you want this navigation bar on top or side? These things you can just play with. Okay, it's very simple. Once you create the website, you can discover it by yourself. Because few things we need the help, we need the confidence to know what you have to do. Once you are able to do with that, the other settings part and this other three dots thing, everything you can figure it out. Okay, so I hope you all will practice this and come up with doubts. And yes, I said that I'll be sharing the WhatsApp link as well. So let me stop presenting. I'll be sharing the WhatsApp link. Uh, whoever wants to join our WhatsApp group, this is for them. But otherwise, that's all for today. Please enter your email ID in the chat box and you can leave. And I'll be giving the WhatsApp link as well. Whoever wants to join the WhatsApp group, I'll be putting it in the chat box.
Reshma, am I audible?
Yes, yes,
Hello.
yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Good evening, Reshma. Thank you for the wonderful session. Actually, I did have a question. For example,
Okay,
I am collaborating with, say, you and Mr. Murtuza. Okay.
okay.
And there was an error made by you or Mr. Murtuza or by me. Can that be
Yes.
tracked?
Yes, that can definitely be tracked. We have something called as version history. For every Google tool, we have something called as versions. Each and every change that we make. So let me share the screen again so that
Thank you very
I
much.
can show you where it is exactly.
The three dots beside setting. The three dots.
Yes, you have it here. Version history. When you click on version history, you will be able to see what all changes were made from the beginning. What all changes were there, you will be able to see. And You can see since I was the only person, I'm marked as blue and Reshma Sultana. So if you are collaborating, you might get a red dot saying all the red dot or all the red marked things were done by, um, sorry, your name, Natasha, like that. So,
Okay,
and
just
also
like
you have an option to come back to that particular version as well. So if you want to come back to this particular version, restore this version.
okay, it's basically exactly like Google Forms, where, like
Yes,
if
every
you
Google tool, Google Forms,
oh,
Google Docs, slides, sites,
yeah.
everything has version history.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other doubts? Please feel free to ask because your doubt might be helpful for others as well. All right. So I'm be stopping the presentation. That's all from my end. I hope you all liked the workshop.